It's gonna be like something you never seen before. And I'm gonna give you the model. Just in case you didn't know, this is myself talking to myself. I'm not talking to y'all, but y'all gonna be spectators. But just as much as y'all are spectators, y'all will be involved. Because I'm giving y'all the model, I'm giving y'all the blueprint. So I'm gonna write something down. And I love manifestation laws because so many people think they got it figured out through the ability to just manifest it. Knowing that maybe in the back of their head they doubting something. Maybe they don't agree with something. Or maybe they just don't believe something about themselves. Or the subconscious belief they're in is affecting their ability to be able to actually manifest those things within their reality. And so today, once again, if you did not already catch it, I'm giving y'all the blueprint. I'm giving y'all the blueprint. And this is a replicable process. This is a replicable process for me. It'll be a replicable process for you. It'll be a replicable process to ensure that you are amplifying that energy, which it is, that you are trying to manifest within yourself. I love how a lot of people love to go with the whole idea of affirming a belief. Now, the whole purpose of affirming the belief is the emotional response. And I'm writing this down because this is part of my journal. This is part of my ability to be able to create this cyclical feedback loop. So we're going to put it down: cyclical feedback loop. If I put, say this is one thing, and say this is another thing. This is a speaker, this is a microphone, and that's the speaker. Now, if I hook these two up, the speaker to the microphone, just like this, boom, then everything that's being said will be heard, said again, and heard, and said again, and heard. And if anybody recognizes what it is and what it means when I say that to the point of the threshold of its ability, the hardware tries to replicate that which is irreplicable, which is a non-stop feedback loop of constant input and output that's feeding back into itself. Right? So we want to make a emotional response, cyclical feedback loop for our thoughts and our experiences in reality that can be weighed consistently. And this is how we do it. Set up a camera. Record yourself having the conversation. Record. I love how God says in the Bible, went through Jesus, that he's in all of us and that we will find the place to worship anywhere. That the kingdom he has built is accessible anywhere. That if we should believe that it be done, that it is already done. And it is done already. Okay, so if I'm going to record myself speaking my words, not only am I recording myself speaking my words, I'm experiencing my words. That's an action. So an action is leading to another action. And of course, this is a feedback loop, obviously, right? So an action can lead to more action. But the way that we link this is that the action, which is starting record on the phone, is going to be emphasized by the action of me speaking to the video, which is the experience of words, which then feeds back into belief. belief. I believe that what I'm saying right now is true. I believe that as I watch this back, I will make a lot of sense to myself, because who else am I supposed to make sense to other than myself? Only God can judge me, right? So if I'm offering myself this feedback loop of what it is that I believe about myself, there's so many different readings. And right here, I have a book. This book there's no place markers. But God has always utilized a way to speak to me. And this is a belief that I have. And the experiences which I have, I am diagnosed with schizophrenia. The experiences that I've had is to second guess myself, one, or the second path to find salience and things that may not have salience together. But here's the thing. When we have hard copies, such as a recording, then the belief becomes undeniable, right? And so here we are. It says, when you are in a room with someone who is depressed or angry, you can often feel the heaviness of the person's negative energy, which can affect you to the point where it brings you down or wears you out. When you are around an individual who is volatile, has an unstable energy about them, the unpredictability of the person's behavior can have an unsettling and unnerving effect. Being around someone in a state of extreme joy or excitement can have an equal effect on us, the positive side of the emotional spectrum. And so the whole idea of what we're doing right now, that was a randomly picked page, y'all. I did not pick this page. There's no dog here on this page. There was no bookmark. I flipped this book open before we went to this page. And so once again, if God has something to say, God will say it through our own actions and through the state. And this book is called I Am. The Power of Discovering Who You Really Are. I have not read it. I have not really even started it. It's just sitting on my desk. And so we know that energy is what it is. Energy is not a solid thing. It passes through everything. Energy is not something we can really quantify past a level of measurement, which is still just too basic of a way of explaining what an energy is. We can explain energy in a thermogenic way. We can explain energy in the presence of voltage. We can explain energy in the presence of light. Really, we're just trying to quantify something that is not quantifiable. And one thing that I said before all of this is, what are we trying to do? We're trying to do a feedback loop, y'all, an emotional response. Now, remember what I just read. I'm going to read this back to you. We want an emotional response. It says, when you are around an individual who's volatile, has an unstable energy. Now, notice what I just said. We was looking for an emotional response. I didn't find this word in here. The words came to me. It says the unpredictability of the person's behavior can have an unsettling and unnerving effect. But being around someone in a state of extreme joy or excitement can have an equal effect on us on the positive side of the emotional spectrum. Emotional response is the whole topic, and the cyclical feedback of that emotional response being put into place by the actual recording of myself, showing you that things ain't what they look like, y'all. I didn't pick this page picked me. I didn't pick this video. The video been asking me to make it for a long time. I didn't go find my job found me. I didn't make the money, and the money ain't gonna make me, but I make the experience of which the money has came to me be utilized in this reality. I am a creator of my own experience. I am who I say I am. And in the Bible, we like to say that is consciousness. That is God. I am the great I am. Correct? That is what Jesus was. And that's what Jesus promised to deliver us. Right? And so this is just one of many religious belief systems that emphasize on this. Now, I do believe that Jesus had experienced this in a way that many Buddhist monks and you know, a lot of these spiritualists have experienced to a degree. But there's one thing to be living a life There's another thing for life to be lived by the essence of you. And so when Jesus came, the life surrounded him. Just like in God, our flesh surrounds our spirit. Now we know that the flesh is in war with the spirit, but what we need is not stronger actions against the flesh, stronger building of the spirit, but stronger faith in what lies within him and also what lies within us, which is the activation of belief. So once again, emotional response to cyclical feedback, to an action, which is record and experiencing words, because those words came to life. So an action to an action reemphasize the belief. Now run that back.